Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown, the largest international curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you decided to join us to watch some of the top teams from around the world participate in this event. My name is Jesse Hamonic, and I'm the Vice President and Country Head of Nutrien Ag Solutions Canada. Like farming, curling brings our communities together, and Nutrien Ag Solutions is committed to promoting the diversity of sport within the communities where we work and live. We're so grateful to the Western Showdown team for allowing us to partner with them to bring you this event, and I want to wish you all, the teams, a safe and successful event.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown. We're so glad you've decided to join us to come see some of the world's best curlers participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director for RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're also proud to support the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown, as RBC is committed to working with our community to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the community in which we live. Thank you to everyone on the organizing committee for putting this great event together, and on behalf of RBC Dominion Securities, enjoy the tournament.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Well, a good Friday afternoon to you from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown, and no Western Showdown like an A qualifier showdown. Hans Roundup here. I've got Sam Steep along with me. Good afternoon to you, Sam.
Good afternoon.
Niklas Edin
Yeah.
taking on Catlin Schneider.
Yeah, and we watched Team Edin get hammer, the draw to the button there.
Should be an interesting game. Catlin Schneider claimed a couple of big scalps on the way to this A qualifier. Wins over Corey Dropkin and Mike McEwen.
Those were great wins. And we talked a lot about momentum this afternoon on the women's game, and that should give you a lot of confidence beating two great teams like that to make the A qualifier final.
Keep a close eye on Rasmus Rana. I did the Niklas Edin game against Steve Laycock, and Rasmus came out at the fourth end with a back problem in that game. Back in the lineup today. We'll just keep a close eye on Rasmus, and hopefully he's able to manage his back pain in the starting lineup.
Yeah, that's never fun. He's a pretty important player for Team Edin. He does a lot of the sweeping and doesn't miss much, so it's important for him. I imagine he got to see some physios and some chiropractic or whatever, get that back working again.
That's exactly right. Seen over the years that Team Niklas Edin, they're able to adapt to injuries. Niklas has had all kinds of problems over the years, knees and back.
Yeah, he's had Niklas had a lot of surgery.
Team Edin playing the Yellowstones. Team Schneider playing the Redstones. Team Schneider from Victoria, BC.
In my opinion, I think they would be the BC favorites to And to the Briar, this is their first year together as a team, but they're all good curlers, and they've had a few good events this year to give them some confidence going into that BC laydowns.
Ranked number 44 in the world right now on points earnings. So they're having a good season, getting themselves in the conversation with the top teams in the game. Good separation between these stones. Okay, we'll just try to close it up a little bit if he can. Jason Ginter.
I believe that was Sterling Middleton that was throwing. I'm surprised. He is listed as vice, but looked like he was throwing second there.
Oh, okay. Right. Well picked up, Sam. Thank you.
Yeah. I played against Sterling quite a bit. Well, enough in juniors anyways. Yeah, he did a lot of winning in the junior level. And looks like he's continuing to do that in men's and in mixed doubles. He's actually quite good at that as well. So interesting that he's throwing second.
Interesting indeed. And here is Rasmus Rana. Second player for Team Edin. Nose hit. Again, lots of separation between those two counters for Team Edin.
Yeah. His back looked fine on that slide.
Yeah, sure did.
Imagine it probably is sweeping that would be the hardest thing to do after injuring your back, but we'll find out.
Chance to roll underneath there, and we saw Catlin up the back of the redstone as well. Maybe a chance for a little bit of action off it. There's that inside roll and that little bit of action on the counter at the top of the ring, sitting second shot.
Be interesting to see what Niklas wants to do here, leaving that staggered guards, or if he decides to hit and just get the blank. Hard to hit because it's probably going to jam.
Well, that's exactly right. And Niklas Edin sees that those redstones are overlapped, so he says, all right, whip one around there. No real chance for Catlin to run it back. Aggressive play, but a pretty safe play.
Probably
really
the only option, yeah. Pretty important shot, though. If this slides behind T-line, the end could be over.
Oscar Eriksson. This one's going to be flirting with the top stone. Are they going to get it by? Yes, they do. Now they're sweeping to finish. Hiding a corner. Not really position A, but that's pretty good. Second shot, half quarter hidden anyways. No chance at all for the inside roll.
Kind of left in a good spot because if Catlin Schneider decides to play the draw, he'll be able to throw the run back on the yellow. So
Warning lights are flashing a little bit now there for Catlin. Making an aggressive play. You could be winding up dropping three, so
yeah, exactly.
needs to be a bit careful.
Yeah.
If there's any team that you don't want to drop three on in the early going, it's Niklas Edin. Terrific front runners.
Arguably the best hitting team in the world. Tough to to drop 3 in the first end against. So he'll play it safe here, play the hit and roll, and he might be able to get a draw or a hit on skip rocks. So that's what they're deciding to do. Right choice.
Just good control weight. Got a
You'd
good
like
piece.
like to stick around and be shot, so Niklas has to hit. Like it
No, he's
rolled a
not
little
going to get
bit
the
too
spin
far.
back, though. Close. Well, the red stones accumulating. Nicholas electing to play a hit and roll by the looks of it here instead of trying another draw, or is he going to play the draw again?
I believe it's the draw, yeah.
It is the draw. Rightio.
Yeah. Oscar just threw it. He should know how to add a couple more feet of weight to make this perfect. So I imagine it's going to be pretty close.
Well, really throwing it almost to the exact same spot, Oscar Eriksson.
Yeah. A little surprising coming from Oscar. Oscar, very good player. You would assume he would have thrown a little bit more weight there, but first end could have caught a new path and just slowed down. Decision time.
Team Edin is line 2.
Yeah.
Again, not great places for them to actually deal with that shot rock. If they hit what they see, Nicholas is going to have some options.
I don't mind no. If you could hit and roll off of that one, you're not going to be shot, but the most you're going to give up is 2 if you make this. If you wanted to be aggressive, you could have drawn to like the back 4 foot, even full back 8 foot. They wouldn't be able to promote that yellow, and you take those 2 yellows away. But the first end, like you said, you don't want to give up 3. So
what are we looking at here, Sam? We're looking at red, and across the top of the yellow?
yeah, that's exactly what is happening. Hit and roll, try to make sure the max you're going to give up is 2, and you might be able to have a shot to force them if Edin makes a mistake.
That's the high hard one.
Oh, yeah.
That does push that stone in. He gets the action on the one on the wing as well. Well read and a terrific shot.
I wasn't sure if that shot rock was going to fly over there. Great throw.
Good read on the angles and fist bumps all around for Catlin Schneider.
I think we found the reason why they're in the A final.
Yeah, no kidding. What a great shot. So Oscar Eriksson punished for leaving that stone a little high in the rings. Catlin Schneider reading the angles perfectly. Kills both Edin counters, and now Nicholas looking at 3. Got the hammer and does have the opportunity to hide here, and so maybe the opportunity for the cliche skips deuce here if he can sink one.
Yeah, if he can bury one behind this top 12 and get a miss from Catlin, it's deuce is still on the table.
Team Edin had victories over Steve Laycock and Rika Yanagiso of Japan. Brought them into this A qualifier game. Looking for cover. Wants this one as deep as he can, get some separation from that run. Hides, yeah, half. But the angles are not bad, I mean, in terms of the leave. If Catlin chases, jam is on. So it will be the run.
Perfectly executed shot by Niklas. Almost tempt him into throwing the hack waiter, but Catlin doesn't fall for it.
Threw the bait out there, but Catlin wasn't biting.
No.
Trying to set up the force here in the first end. It'll be big. Looking to nose the guard straight back onto the Edin counter. Very nicely done.
Great shot.
And that will get the force. Broom immediately down on the edge of the 8-foot. Niklas Edin tips the hat to the opponent. Said, nice shot. I'm just going to have to take my one. Very good start for Team Schneider.
Yeah. Great start. Didn't look so good until Skipper Ox, but I guess that's why you pay Skipper the big bucks next time. Two great run backs. And Niklas Edin has this last rock. Needs 8-foot for one.
Christopher Sundgren taking charge. No. Finding the sweeping as we see Rasmus Rana holding the brush here. And so that's again Rasmus maybe saving the back. Oskar Eriksson on the brush. Take it into the 8-foot for a single point, but it's a very good force for Catlin Schneider in the first end. Single point for Team Edin. After one end to play, 1-0. The Swift Current.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back to Swift Current. Second end to play in this A qualifier game. Niklas Edin, Catlin Schneider. Very good force in the first end for Team Schneider. They've got the hammer here in end number 2. Hans Fraunlob here along with Sam Steep. Great start for the BC Forcemen.
Yeah, mission accomplished in the first end. If you're trying to play a perfect curling game, force deuce all the way home. So that's just Three great shots from Leeds so far. About to be a fourth.
Alex Horvath sinking that one right on the pin. Perfect angle freeze. So this end is setting up in mouth-watering fashion. Sam, for a team like Catlin that's on the rise, and you're playing a team with the reputation of Niklas Edin, and you mentioned, you're trying to play a perfect game, can that really weigh on you, knowing that you probably need to make 63 of the 64 that you're going to throw to win the game? Can that put too much pressure on yourself?
It can if you think about it. As a player, you just try to not think about all that. To beat a team like that, you have to play pretty well perfect, but you just take it one shot at a time, just like they're doing right now. Like right now, this is a perfect end. Both leads made all 4 shots. And that was a perfect freeze again by Team Edin. So yeah, you don't want to blink, because Team Edin, as soon as you let go of the gas, they'll pounce on you. So important to just take it one shot at a time and leave your skipper a draw to the 4-foot to score.
Sterling Middleton trying to add to the string of success here in the second end. So it needs to finish a little bit, maybe 6 inches heavy. Just gets that little bounce and flop.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
Red doubles jamming the one in the back button all day long, so Niklas's instinct is just to sit one into the pocket. Oscar Ericsson's going to come down and have a chat, though. I think Oscar sees something else.
Yeah, my first thought was the freeze. If you freeze there, the scoring area is already just the pin. There's really no shot for 2 right now. If you make the freeze, Schneider's Catlin's going to have to blow up the center, try to have a path for 1.
And Sam, between ends, we were talking about Team Edin, and you played them earlier in the year, and we were talking about how they kind of go for the maximum on every shot. And you can just see in the dialogue there between Niklas and Oscar, they're talking about, half a centimeter here, half a centimeter there in terms of where they actually want to leave this stone.
Yeah.
That's the level of details that this team plays at, isn't it?
They're the best team in the world at angles. They know exactly where they want to put the rock, and a lot of the times they put it exactly where they want it. And they're always 3 shots ahead. They know what they're leaving themselves if this shot's made or if it's not. And I put them in the category of Wayne Madaw. Wayne is a lot like that as well, and they have mastered the sport of curling, and they continue to make the sport new. And that spinner made last year at Worlds, they've completely changed the sport again. So, great
you
shot.
see the result of the execution from Rasmus Rana, right where they were patting the brush, and that's where the stone comes to rest. Terrific shot.
Absolutely. It's a level of focus, right? Like, I want it right here, and that's just how you stay dialed in, and they don't make mistakes often.
Yeah, I often joke that Niklas picks a pebble that he wants the stone to stop at, and that's kind of what they aim for.
Sure. Yeah, no choice but for Sterling to play the nose hit here. Try to move some granite around.
Well, he really flirted with the front stone, but opens up the 4-foot.
It's a great shot. Disaster. If he hits the guard, it's an absolute disaster. But that's a great shot. He leaves his red in a good spot. They have hit and rolls. Wow. Save the end for Team Schneider for sure, so far anyway.
Still some work to do, but they do have the hammer, and now at least they have some options, whereas before, really the only option was to take the one and go on to the next end. Nicholas knows that that red stone in front of the 4-foot is the problem rock. The only problem for him is surrounded by yellow stones. He's going to need a crane to get it out.
Yeah, you can't hit that red one out right now. So they need to decide whether they want to make a tap on their yellow or draw the pin. Put another yellow in there is probably what I would do, but
Looking at tapping the yellow. One way or another, they want to wedge another stone into the button area, don't they?
Yeah.
As you were saying, Sam, 3 shots ahead. They're not only talking about where this one goes, but what the implications of that would be 2 or 3 shots down the line.
Yeah, they're not worried about. Yeah, I mean, the obvious choice is to put another yellow in the rings. It's just this is why they're the best, is they want to know exactly where to put it. They know that red one's in too good of a spot, but you can't hit it out. So I think they have no option but to draw or tap that yellow one into the button.
So Nicholas, for a moment, tapping the edge of that red stone, saying maybe we just pinball it off the one on the wing and spill it across the top. That would be really high risk.
Play that, you could end up getting rid of 2 or 3 yellows and not a single red.
Exactly. All of a sudden, you could be looking at dropping 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think that's the call. That's what Nicholas just did. Tap to the button, try to roll the shooter deep, and not leave them anything.
Yeah, that felt instinctively like shot choice A, and that's where they've landed. Needs to catch it pretty thin, though. He wants to make sure that his shooter spills out of a usable zone for Catlin Schneider. So pretty fine tolerances here for Oscar Eriksson. He's going to need to be thinking, oh, what do you think, back 12? Trying to catch it really thin and get that spill. They do punch it across, and they do get that spill. Very nice shot from Oscar Eriksson. Creates a little pocket, though.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's quite the outcome they wanted. They kind of set up a double. All of a sudden, there's going to be 4 reds in there and two yellows. Getting a little scary for Team Edin.
Some yellow stones are going to be moving. Just a question about where's the contact point on that top stone, really. Is it, you want to just play the straight flop? Do you hit it nose? Do you even hit a little bit high side?
Yeah, tempting to make the double, but I think they're right in making just a hit and roll, kind of freeze and be shot rock. Probably the best outcome for Team Schneider.
Jason Ginter. I'm calling for sweeping right out of hand. Maybe a bit narrow, and he's going to clip that front stone. No, that's a very poor shot. Team Edin let off the hook. You don't want to let them off the hook very often. They won't get very many chances.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's talk about when you're growing up in juniors and learning about how to curl, you talk a lot about tolerances and what the miss is. And at this level, every curler knows the miss, but sometimes you just kind of have a lapse in Sometimes you just miss. It just happens.
Yeah.
So, unfortunate.
Bad time for a bad slide.
Yeah. Medine not out of the woods yet. This double needs to be made.
Oscar Eriksson needing to hit maybe just off nose on the high side, looking for the double takeout. It's very close. Is he going to jam? Yes, he's going to jam the back. So eliminates one.
Yeah. Difference is they got rid of the problem rock. They were really worried about that rock in the 8-foot for a while, and now it's gone. And Schneider has a decision on how are they going to score 2 here and still their goal. Scary to nose because that yellow could slide over on top of your other shot rock. So.
Jason Ginter looking to recover after that miss on the last rock. Hangs it, moves them around.
Pretty good shot.
Kind of left it in a place where it's going to be difficult for Niklas to get rid of both of the reds in the 4-foot with one shot.
I think if this was later in the game and Team Edin probably had a few point lead, they would slice that red one and get rid of both of the reds. But too early in the game for that.
Red onto yellow onto red, but
red, yellow, red, yeah. But I think the nose is just off nose would be really good. It'd be hard for Catlin to make a double without losing his other red.
Catlin in the background looking at the angles, wondering what he's going to have. Good crowd on hand here in Swift Current. A lot of people knocking off on a Friday afternoon to watch some of the best curlers in the world. Again, Rasmus Rana calling the line. So unusually, we have Eriksson and Edin standing side by side as Niklas gets in the hack ready to throw.
Yeah, it definitely changes team dynamics a bit when you have to deal with switching of roles because of an injury. So communication becomes even more important and what your new role needs to be and all that stuff. Yeah. Great shot.
Makes the hit. So it's top 4-foot. Yeah, it's different for somebody like Oscar when you've been watching a lifetime's full of Niklas's shot coming at you, holding the brush to switch, and then all of a sudden now you're standing beside him, still holding a brush, but from an entirely different perspective.
Yeah, some people may not know how big of a change that is for players, and even for your skip. I'm sure Niklas is hears the same thing all the time from his sweepers, from Rasmus, and now he's not there. So now he has to put his trust in Oscar. Now they've been together for a long time. So probably not that hard, but still a trust thing for sure.
But still different.
Yeah.
Now the best teams, many teams talk about it, right? Many teams talk about what's going to happen if there's an injury and what are we going to do if Joe goes down or Joe gets hurt and how are we going to realign the lineup. But very few actually practice it. A lot of teams talk about it, but not very many teams actually practice lineup changes. I would suspect that Team Niklas Edin will have gone through these scenarios and actually practice them.
Yeah, normally they practice without Niklas being there because he's the one that's always having surgery somewhere. But Yeah, it's a change, and I imagine they've talked at lengths about it and practiced it. These guys, I mean, it's their job, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you're at work, everyone needs to have a plan on what you're doing. So it's right, it's important.
So we're down to skip rocks here in the second end. Catlin Schneider got the force in the first end. And the second end has been a bit all over the place. And miss from Jason Ginter turned the end around a bit. Catlin trying to set something up with his stone. Leaves himself sitting second and third. Now Nicholas is eyeing up that double takeout. Angle's a little bit friendlier for him now.
A pretty good shot because the double could jam on that red in the back 12 if he doesn't hit it in the perfect spot. So it's not like it's
that is the question, whether it would jam or kind of go across the top.
It should go across the top, but it really just depends on the angle he hits the rock on. I mean, obviously focus on making the double, and Nicholas has what he wants, then it'll be a force.
One of these ones where you can spend a lot of time thinking about what's going to happen on the jam and kind of forget about the first job, which is going to make the double takeout. And
one thing I learned playing Edin earlier this year is that the games aren't exactly fast because they do talk about a lot of shots. But all of these games for them are practice games for Worlds, really. They don't really have competition in Sweden in the men's national yet on the men's side. Every game's a practice game for them until Worlds. That's all they care about, winning the Olympics and winning Worlds. And they're going to talk about all the shots and all the angles and where they need to hit it, whatever makes them better for the big games. And they have to play fast.
Yeah, not unlike Tiger Woods, who would just focus on the majors.
Yeah,
it's really quite similar for Team Niklas Edin, not to discount in any way this tournament.
Yeah, of course not.
But
yeah,
they've got always got a long game in mind. This one is going to overcurl, and there is that jam. Just what I was speaking about. I'm worried a little bit about the leave and roll it a little bit, and all of a sudden you pick your own off, and now you're handing a pair to your opponent.
It's a big turnaround for Team Schneider this end. They made their Vice's last and Skip's first to be able to create this opportunity. It's a great outcome. But got to touch the forefoot for Catlin.
Yeah, they will know better than anybody the importance of cashing this one in. Taking a moment to talk with Sterling and just really lock in, where's the weight here?
Yeah, I imagine the conversation is how much different is it to the draw of the button speed? That's what it's always going to ask. So.
Final stone on its way, second end. Catlin Schneider needs a piece of the forefoot to score 2 and take the lead in this game. It's an A qualifier. They're really having to work this one. It's over curling, and it looks a little bit light. Can they get it there? Really working it. And fantastic brushing from Team Schneider. Give that one to the front end. Catlin Schneider gets it to the forefoot with a lot of help from Alex Horvath and Sterling Middleton. 2 points on the board, and they take the lead. 2 ends in the books here in Swift Current. Catlin Schneider 2, Niklas Edin 1.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
And we are back in Swift Current and the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. And we got a showdown on sheet 4. Niklas Edin, Catlin Schneider. Looking for a place in the quarterfinals. It's an A qualifier. And after a miss on a double takeout by Niklas Edin, Catlin Schneider cashed in with the pair. And they enjoy a 2-1 lead. We would have drawn it up on the whiteboard before the game, Sam. Catlin would say, going into the third one up, that'd be exactly what you'd be hoping for. You probably would be daring yourself to dream that you can be in that position, but they've earned it. They've played very well.
Yeah, and it's not like they've made every single shot, but they've made the important shots in each of the two ends so far. And that's what's going to win you a lot of games. So if they keep doing that, then they're going to stay on the right side of the scoreboard.
We saw Catlin make an incredible run in the first end with some real angles and some pinballs to get them out of the jam and generate the force. And then in the second, with the help of his front end, hit the 4-foot for the pair. So you're right. You have to make every shot, but if you make a great shot at a crucial time, you can really turn ends around. Little split here.
Not the exact outcome they wanted. I think getting caught up with when the ice starts to break down a little more, it starts to curl a little more, and we saw that in the first game I commentated earlier this afternoon. It just get a little more curl the longer the game goes on.
Ice conditions here in Swift Current have been really good. Quick and lots of late finish. So Team Edin now, shot rock overlapped and pretty well protected. Talking about thinking another one around there, but now they're having second thoughts.
Yeah, when you're the team with Hammer, we talked about the you want to be able to control the control zone, you got to. I really like this hit and roll. It opens up your corner guard, but it also you're going to be sitting two if made properly. So 2-in-1, kill two birds with one stone. No, it's no great call.
Rasmus Rana playing a delicate weight hit and roll attempt. It's going to pretty much be just off nose, though. He's not going to get that roll behind the red. Fighting the front 12.
But, you leave it in such a good spot. Yeah, Team Schneider has no choice but to play the nose.
The play will be on the stone, just delivered by Rasmus Rana. Sterling Middleton.
Sweep for Jason. It's really important to make the nose here so you don't leave any gaps for Team Edin.
Just a cross nose, but
it's gonna work
stays
out.
clear of the guards. So it's still runnable.
Yeah, it would not have been pretty if they rolled under the red and had no run backs available for them. It's a great sweep and a good throw.
Yeah, triple overlap would have been pretty ugly there, but stays in the open, so it is usable for Catlin Schneider.
So Team Edin, yeah, it is still advantage Team Edin. Team Schneider hanging around. They're going to be able to promote that. They're going to be able to tap a rock up or make a run back and get out of the end, probably. But
Rana trying to wrap one around the corner guard. Great looking line. Well, for a guy with back problems, he's throwing pretty awesome, really.
Throwing is definitely not his issue. Made a lot of those shots.
Very nice stone. Edin lies 2. Jason Ginter is going to be asked to run in the guard. Big weight. It's got contact. Kind of stuffs it, and it will hang around. Is it second shot? Looks like it might be. I think it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, not the exact outcome they wanted, but it does open it up, and they'll have a hit and roll behind their mountain of reds at some point. Niklas
just as you were saying, Sam, Niklas knows
that
that danger stone is that stone just in front of the rings. Doesn't want to leave that one hanging around if he can avoid it.
Not a fun place. And it's a pretty hard hit. You want to hit it exactly on the nose. If you miss a little wide, all of a sudden you jam and you're chasing all ends. So it's
and you can see Niklas saying to Oscar, I'd actually like to hit a little bit of cross nose and get a little inside roll and get an overlap. That's pretty cheeky, but
that would be
the way this
nose
team
is
thinks.
The call.
Really no margin of error whatsoever for Oscar Eriksson. Half a centimeter wide, he's jamming.
Yeah.
Half a centimeter narrow, he's wrecking. This one's got some curling to do. Just does get to nose. That was pretty close.
And
job done.
Leaves that rock in a perfect spot for them to be able to make a run back or a tap if needed. So it was the right call. They talked about it a little bit more than they needed to, probably, but it was the right call.
Well, you get there in the end sometimes. Takes a while, but they arrived at the right destination. Jason Ginter now having to go way out to the wing. Got lots of house to roll to. But he just right on nose.
That was a key shot. If they wanted to get a force or a steal that end, that shot was pretty important because you don't expect Team Edin to not make the roll here.
So Team Edin with the hammer here in end number 3, line 1 guarded and overlapped. Got their own stone in front of it as well. And they are talking hit and roll. Where's perfect here, Sam? Half a rock?
About half a rock, yeah. I don't think they want to roll all the way to the 4 foot because they could leave a run back double. And after seeing what Catlin can do in the first end with run backs, really important to see what they leave here.
Oscar Eriksson looking for the inside roll. Is it going to overcurl? Oh my goodness, he flashes it. Wow. I was expecting a lot of things on that shot, but not that.
Yeah, I think they're surprised at how much that curled, watching Jason's rock not curl very much. I just think it was the difference in weight selection. Jason threw heel and it didn't curl much, and Oscar threw about that board weighter and it moved a lot on them there. So been the difference in the game so far. Team Schneider's made the big shots and Team Edin hasn't yet, but I won't count them out by any means.
No. Well, here's another chance for another big shot for Catlin Schneider.
Yeah, this is important. It's a crummy situation for Team Schneider. If they make this, they just open up the draw to the top 4 foot and could still give up 2.
Right.
But there's really no other shot to get in there, so it must throw.
Looking for the double takeout, yellow onto yellow. Throwing this one really hard.
No mistake.
Blast them out of there. So once again, Catlin Schneider putting the team on his back. Another terrific shot.
Well, there was a reason why he was a vice and a second for so long in the tour level. It was makes a lot of run backs. He can this year he's shown that he can also make all the draws and freezes, which we will end up seeing later in this game, I imagine. But great shot.
It was a terrific shot. But as you said, Sam, all that has done is given Niklas a chance to bomb one around those overlapped guards.
Yeah, unfortunately, you make a perfect shot, but you open it up for Edin. So important shot for Niklas.
Yeah, it is. After missing the double in the second end, Niklas will be feeling like he needs to compensate for that with a good shot here. Sundgren and Eriksson on the brush. And this one is light and really light. Oh my. What a turnaround in this end.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot of I feel like he's thrown a decent amount of draws this game already, at least 2. And he pinned the draw of the button, so you thought he'd be close there, but maybe a different path or.
It's a good 8 feet light.
Yeah.
Very uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
From the multiple world champion and Olympic champion, that is for sure. But a terrific opportunity now for Catlin Schneider. And they've earned their way into an advantage in this game, and they can extend that advantage. It's going to be at least a force, but now you're thinking, okay, can we feel this end?
Yeah, it's that make after miss stat that a lot of competitive curlers look at is the top level. You don't get a lot of misses, but when you do, you absolutely have to make your shot after they miss to take advantage. of the end, and that's what Catlin's going to try and do here.
It's going to have to come quite wide on the sheet, though, out to the edge of the 12. It's a bit of a fresh patch. So all the conversation will be, how much do I think I need to add out here, or do I need to add anything? Is it going to run on fresh pebble?
That's the exact conversation they're having for sure. How much faster does this rock need to be compared to my last draw to the button? For sweepers who they probably haven't seen a draw out there, so it's almost a little bit of a guess.
We'll give a confident answer with no backing of any information at all, right?
It's a confident guess.
Add 5 feet.
Yeah.
Sterling Middleton and Alex Horvath now in charge of the weight. And they're all over it. They think this one's light too, and it's going to come up well short. Over curling already and onto the one in the top 12 foot. So whatever they talked about adding, they probably needed to add another 10 to that. It's still going to be a force, though. So moral victory, even though there was a miss there from Catlin Schneider. Worst case scenario, they're going to have the hammer playing 4 all tied up.
Yeah, it's a great spot. A lot of people know that when you start with hammer at the top level, you start with at least a 60% chance of winning the game. And Edin started with hammer, and Catlin flipped the script. Schneider flipped the script really early in this game already. He tied in the 4th with is a great spot if Niklas makes a shot.
And that is by no means a gimme. It's going to need to know to stick around.
No mistake.
Gets that inside roll. So that was the inside roll they needed earlier. They didn't get it. Didn't get it for the final stone of the end. And Niklas Edin puts a 1 on the board, but it's only a 1. Another force, a second force for Catlin Schneider. 3 ends in the books. We are deadlocked at 2 in Swift Current.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Welcome back to Swift Current. We have got an absolute dandy going here in the A qualifier. Niklas Edin versus Catlin Schneider. As we reach the halfway point, Catlin has arm wrestled the advantage away from the multiple world champion. Forced in 1, forced in 3, took a 2 in the second, forced again in 4 rather, and has got the hammer now. playing the fourth and in a very good position. We've seen some uncharacteristic misses from Niklas Edin, missed a double takeout, missed a draw. And Sam, we were talking between ends. Don't want to make too much about the relatively small switch of Rasmus Rana holding the brush on Niklas's stones, but those small changes can actually have quite a big impact, can't they?
Yeah, they absolutely can. It just kind of disrupts the team flow of things, and this team has dealt with their share of injuries, but it can be a change. In I don't think it'll take them long for things to click back in. Maybe on one more end or two, but they have made a lot of great shots, so they're right there. They just need to make the big one. So far, they haven't made the big shot yet.
There's a very nice shot by Rasmus Rana. Perfect nose freeze. Rasmus's sister Isabel is competing in the women's competition here in Swift Current. Current Swedish women's champions defeated Anna Hasselborg. So we're seeing some depth in women's curling in Sweden. We're just not seeing that same depth on the men's side. Team Niklas Edin still very much the number one team in Sweden, and there's quite a large gulf between them and the next strongest men's team in Sweden. So,
yeah, so far, yeah.
It's a bit of a concern for Swedish curling, I know, talking to some officials there. Niklas, of course, one of the very best in the world, has been for a long time. But Swedish men's curling have got pretty much all of their eggs in the Niklas Edin basket right now. And you do worry about depth a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is Niklas's last go around at the Olympics. What kind of role he'll play in the future of Swedish curling. I imagine he'll coach. I imagine he'll develop some curlers. I don't think Oscar would retire at the same time as Niklas, but you never know. Even the women's side, they have two great teams in Rana and Hasselberg, but that's it as well. Like, they do have some development. They have a lot of good young teams, but they're young, so it takes some time to develop into the men's and women's stage. Team Rana, who pretty sure won World Juniors, took three-ish years to get to the top level, and finally beat Hasselberg. So it's interesting. It takes a while, so there might be a gap on the men's side of Swedish curling before the next great team comes. Was running a little hot for Rasmus.
Just going to graze that one past four and skate to the back ring. So the woes continuing a little bit here for Team Edin.
And all credit to Team Schneider. They've made a lot of shots that made Team Edin chase. They've been chasing all game. So great for Team Schneider. Interesting decision here. Do you draw and sit three, or do you make the threes?
It's really interesting. I mean, the way that they're lined up here, as we see the view from the delivery end that Sterling Middleton's got, those stones in the rings are, they're under a threat from raises, but there's overlaps and they're pretty well lined up for jam. So throw another one into the button area, maybe you risk giving your opponent an easy out from a situation where you've already got some pretty good things going.
Yeah, you just don't expect Edin to miss a shot like they just did. So you never, when you're planning.
What do we do now? We had no plan for that.
When you're planning 3 shots ahead, like we talked about earlier, you didn't expect them to miss the threes. So you're like, well, now what do we do? And you have to replan the whole end. So it's, do you peel? Do you draw the top 4 foot?
Did you ever think about another guard?
No, I mean, you could peel the top center guard and bring the play into the rings in the all-important 4th end, but I really do like trying to bring another red in there. Edin's not going to be able to hit everything, so one shot anyways. So, I like this call.
Schneider is lying 2. very much under threat with that stone in the front 8 foot. They've got hammer here in the 4th. Sterling Middleton. Well, he managed to wedge one in there. That's a very good shot. Just kind of nudges the one in the back, maybe a foot deep.
Yeah, you kind of gave Team Edin an out here if this is made.
Saying that, there's 3 reds in there, right? So even if Niklas makes this one, they're not out of the woods by any means.
Absolutely right.
Maybe Oscar Eriksson trying to make this freeze.
It's weird to think about in the 4th end, but this is a shot against the loss, really. If you think about stats and all that stuff, if this is not made, it's could be looking at giving up 3 or 4.
A decisive moment as we reach the midpoint of this game. Niklas Edin coming out to join the sweep. He thinks it's light. And this one is going to come up again, well short. Just biting the front 12 foot, maybe a piece of the 8, but now overlaps everywhere. And 3 reds in the 4 foot. I'm not convinced at this point, if you're Catlin Schneider, you don't kind of switch gears and think, boy, oh boy, line 3 here.
All Catlin's thinking
about
about
clearing
right
the front
now,
anymore?
yeah, all Catlin's thinking about right now is what is Edin's out? How can they get out of this end right now? Because right now it looks like Team Schneider's going to take 3 or 4. What is their shot to get out of the end? And right now it's that draw to the top button on the intern side. So how do you block that? I don't mind the freeze. I don't mind drawing to sit 4. I think you can
Boy,
imagine
the way the Team Edin is struggling with draw weight, do you leave him the pin and say make it, and if you don't, you snap a 4 and it's game over?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you try and throw another red in the rings and make Edin throw a run back or a draw.
Well, you get the sense that the next shot from Oscar Eriksson is going to be a heater at the center guard. Try to run it
That's what I
back
was
into the
thinking.
pile and just blow everything up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's why I was wondering about if Catlin wouldn't be thinking about another guard in this point, kind of wedge one between the 2 center guards and create another overlap and take that shot away.
Yeah, I am a little surprised they decided on the hit. I don't even think they're going to be 4th shot here.
Well, this is it. I mean, if I'm Catlin, I'm thinking, if I'm scoring 2, I'm really happy. If I'm scoring 3, I'm like a burglar off to the races. I'm not worried about 4.
Yeah.
But here we go. Jason Ginter, after a long discussion, looks like he's going to make a play at that stone in the back 8. Is that right? Or is...
Yeah, they decided on the hit and roll. I think they want to roll to where the Reds will jam.
Just to create a bit of a catcher, and that worked out very well. That was very well positioned.
Yeah, that was a good shot. I'm not 100% convinced that was the call.
Yeah, I don't think it was the right shot, but it was well executed.
Well executed.
Now, like a hungry lion eyeing up a pork chop.
Yeah.
Oscar Eriksson looking at the angles. But with that catcher now at the back of the 8 foot, that changes the dynamic a little bit. You're not going to be able to get rid of all 4 Red Rocks. Something is going to jam and hang around.
Yeah. I think that was the idea of playing that hit, obviously. So it's just now Oscar and Niklas Team Edin need to figure out how to create an angle to only give up 2 or make a draw to steal somehow. So that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and hit an inch of this yellow rock The only inch of yellow rock that we see, and open up
boy.
the front there.
Call your friends, everybody. I mean, this is going to be an exciting end no matter how this one turns out. You don't want to miss it. I know you're enjoying it, but let your friends know too. We got a dandy going on here in Swift Current. Gears are grinding for Team Niklas Edin. Oscar Eriksson trying to get them out of jail here. Trying to hit what he can see. Flips the top. 2 stones remain for Team Edin. Catlin Schneider lying 3. I gotta say, Sam, maybe I'm thinking overly defensively, but I'm looking at 3 in the bank right now.
That was a crazy, yeah. This is a crazy situation to be in against the best team.
Is he looking at angle bumping the yellow? Jason Ginter lining it up. I'm Catlin Schneider. I'm not sure I want to go anywhere near disturbing a stone in the rings right now, but let's see what comes here from Jason Ginter. Why? I'm not sure why you take the risk in that kind of shot, Sam. I really don't.
I was really surprised by that call because they could lose a lot of their reds here.
Exactly. Why make it easier? Yeah, truly puzzled by that call. Niklas with a chance to get rid of at least 2 here, maybe 3. And he needs to do that because he's looking at 4 right now. Gets rid of 2, reducing the damage. Catlin looking overhead at those stones at the front 8-foot. Now really starting to think more about consolidating the 2, I think, than scoring 3 or 4. Which is a bit of a shame from my perspective because it felt to me like they were well and truly wired for 3. By bringing the stone in the 4-foot, it gave Niklas a chance to double off a couple of them, and now that 3 looks a little bit more elusive. I'm taking long looks at the stone in the back ring. Don't think there's any doubt to me that the yellow stone is 3rd shot, at least from this overhead. It's close though. I'd still kind of be thinking guard in this situation, personally. Got the overlap in the stones, the front 12 foot. They're the ones that are threatening the stone in the 4 foot. If I'm making this call, I'm thinking, how do I overlap that center guard so Niklas can't run those yellows?
Yeah, Team Edin their only out right now is running that yellow in on the top 8 foot, trying to get rid of 2 reds.
Exactly. So if you get half around the center guard on the high side, you probably take that away.
Pretty good, yeah. You just don't want to leave a draw for Edin to get out of the end altogether. You could draw and sit 3 here, try to quarter Barry in the top 4 foot. I'm not sure what they ended up calling, but
well, decision's made.
Yep.
Shots on its way for Catlin Schneider of Victoria, British Columbia. Golden opportunity here against the multiple world champion. This one is really diving over, though. It's going to change that angle, though. Does it help him? Hard to say. Gives Niklas the yellow tap straight back now.
Yeah, they gave him a shot on that yellow one that could take the whole end away.
It's a risky tap, but it's there.
Yeah, it is risky. It's not an easy shot.
Also the draw, as you mentioned, Sam, that's the draw that could get them out of the end if you could wedge one in there and get half the button around the overlap stones in the front 8 foot.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that shot call for Catlin. I assume they didn't want to do what they ended up doing, but even throwing the guard, it still gives Team Edin outs of the end. I would have probably preferred them trying to sit 3, but kind of gives Edin an out. Looks like they want to draw the edge of the 4 foot.
Well,
all of a sudden, they could get a force here if this is made.
Which would be the force of all time, really, considering the jeopardy that they were in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as you said earlier in the end, Sam, this is potentially game shot right here.
Yeah.
He makes it. It's all on, and Niklas Edin's right in the game. He leaves it a half rock wide and gives Catlin a hit for 3. Shut the barn door.
Yep, absolutely. Big shot for Niklas to his last rock in the 4th end.
Niklas has been struggling with draw weight. See if he can make the adjustment here. Came up light on a draw in the 3rd end. Eriksson and Sundgren keeping an eagle eye on this one. They know they cannot afford the wreck. They're by. That's the first job done. And now they're sweeping for curl, and they're going to get a piece of the button. That's about as good as you can do. But 1 point in the bag for Catlin Schneider. And a chance if he can follow that one down, he only has to move it a foot. Would you try it?
Could be a game saver. Very well could be a game saver. The first big shot Team Edin has made this game. We talked about Team Schneider making all the important ones. That was a big one for Team Edin.
Team Schneider realizing they only have to promote that one in the front 4 foot, maybe a rock width forward to count 2. So they're wondering, is that the easiest way for us to get 2? I do wonder in the circumstance, though, Sam. Gosh, I'd be sure tempted to try and follow down the path that Niklas just threw. Maybe sweep for bump.
A team like Edin, you don't get many opportunities to score more than 2. And the fact that you're not playing it is interesting. And maybe it's just a harder shot. And
the way these are angled, would you ever consider hammering red? Hammer red, yellow across red, pick off the yellow. You might get 3 or 4 that way.
Probably going to get 2 or 3 if you play it that way. That's definitely not a bad call. I think the tap is probably easier. Just need to
Tap
make
is definitely a shot
contact.
for 2.
Yeah,
But
make
I do
contact.
wonder if you're looking at those angles, especially when you saw that shot that Catlin made in the second end. We know he can throw heat with accuracy. I do wonder if there's a shot for 4 waiting there, but it's going to be a tap for 2.
Sweep here for Jason.
Oh gosh, is he narrow? Got some contact. Did he push it forward enough? Yes, he did. Job done for Catlin Schneider, and it will be a 2. A very hard-earned 2. What an end that was. 4th end to play. The end had a little bit of everything in it. So if you phoned your friends to get the popcorn, I'm glad you did, because it turned out to be an incredibly entertaining end. Game on the line halfway through. 2 on the board for Catlin Schneider, and they take a 4-2 lead into the halfway point of this game.
I've got the bill.
Well, now I've got the tip.
Standard tip increased 2% this year.
That's why I keep you around. So, corn's looking great.
Well, our crop plan is working.
And we locked in that input financing at the perfect time.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough?
Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
And a very warm welcome back to Swift Current. A qualifier game, and it is an absolute beauty at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Catlin Schneider, after an incredibly entertaining 4th end, made a little tap to score his 2, gives him a 2-point lead as we enter the 5th end. Comes round lob here, along with Sam Steep, and it has been a very entertaining game, Sam, and more to come, no doubt.
Yeah, a lot of fun angles, in my opinion. It's just a lot of fun to watch how both teams maneuver around each other and how what they leave each other. It's been a lot of fun to watch so far.
If you're a fan of rocks in play, and who isn't, then you're going to love this game. Evidence right in front of our eyes. First 4 stones of the end, 2 guards. 2 stones well defended by those guards, and so it's game on once again. Sterling Middleton eyes it up.
A perfect setup by both leads. No, the lead position has developed so much lately in our sport, and it's really hard to find a great lead. And when you found one, you try to keep them keep them away from everybody else. You try not to. You don't want to show
Handcuff
everybody.
them to the broom
Yeah.
bag. Don't let them go anywhere.
What a perfectly set up end so far by both leads.
Alex Horvath and Christopher Sundgren, the lead players. Kudos to them. Little chip on that stone in the free guard zone. Spills into the rings.
That's a cheeky little miss. Obviously, they
I was
wanted
going
to
to
play
say,
the hit and roll.
I'd be pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, that's a good outcome by the team there.
Neutralizes the corner guard.
Yeah. It's a great outcome. Yeah, you make the tick, and you roll into Sid's second shot with no
Like
corner
a mixed
guards
double
left.
power play tick there, really.
Yeah.
Rasmus Rana. Place in the quarterfinals at stake at this one. The winner will advance and qualify. Rana. There's any tick you can do, I can do better.
Kind of worked out quite well.
The game of chess continuing out here on sheet number 4. Perfectly placed lead stone guards have both been repositioned. And that shot of Rana's spills over to be potentially a usable corner guard on the left-hand side of the sheet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Was a good call. It wasn't quite executed to perfection, but you're going to have corner guards be able to draw around or make a couple hit and rolls around and get your deuce with one good shot. So
Sterling Middleton on the brush. Nose hit. Or Sterling Middleton delivering, rather. Jason Ginter on the brush. Now it's Horvath. Line up straight.
That's the thing. A lot of people may not see it, but even though Team Schneider's sitting 3, it is actually, in my opinion, advantage Team Edin. They have a lot of corner guards to work around. All they really need to do is make one hit and roll, and they're going to be able to score at least 2. Team Schneider's going to be chasing for the rest of the end, really.
Rasmus Rana trying to make one of those hit and rolls right here. Chance for a double, but it's more about the roll. Makes the double and the roll. Not perfectly protected behind that red stone, but does take the play at least over into that direction. Very short run coming up here for Jason Ginter.
Great sweep.
Yeah, Alex Horvath leaning into that one. Team Schneider lying 2. Plan A for Team Schneider.
Yeah, that's
It goes
probably
without
better
saying, but
than
of course, really, isn't it?
nosing. Yeah. If they ended up nosing that red combo, it just would have been more corner guards. So that's actually a great outcome.
Oscar Eriksson. Christopher Sundgren pivoting as he sweeps. Taking on a little extra sweeping responsibility in this game with the injury to Rasmus Rana. Nose hit.
I didn't quite get the roll, and interestingly enough, if you make this nose, that corner guard is kind of useless. Even if they make the draw, it's a pretty short run back for Catlin Schneider.
Jason Ginter on the delivery. Alex Horvath sweeping to try and promote a little bit of extra curl. He's got a piece. Is he going to stick around?
And a little bit of miss there. Not only did they roll behind the corner guard, but now Team Edin can make a perfect crease behind the corner guard. So all of a sudden, there could be a 3 into play. Shot for Oscar. His draws have been coming up late so far this game, so it'd be a big momentum shot for him. Looks like they might be losing the line here a bit. Big sweep. Absolute perfect shot by Oscar Eriksson. Well, Catlin in the first end made two great run backs to get them out of trouble, and is going to need to do that again. Jason trying to back this rock up. And hit rolls out. The important thing for Team Schneider is that they got the peel, and the max score they're going to give up is 2. Team Edin, all they really need to do here is draw the 8-foot. Thank you, everybody, for watching the new Nutrien AG Solutions. We have current tournament here. This is the A qualifier final. In our other A qualifier final, we have Team Muybrook versus Team Bruner. Team Muybrook takes a 4-2 lead after 5. Our other A qualifier. Winner of this game gets a spot in the quarterfinals, and I presume a day off on Saturday. Would be good for Team Edin, as Rasmus is dealing with a back injury, to have a day off. Shot for Niklas. Needs to draw the 8-foot. I want to get some curl here so they don't give up an easy double. Pretty good shot. Catlin deciding to make a play on shot rock here. Believe he's trying to make the hit and roll. Like he's throwing the board waiter. Maybe hack, try to hit and roll under the red one would be optimal. It's a very difficult shot. Having a 2-point lead, obviously, the main goal is to eliminate the rock. What a great shot. Good sweeping by Sterling. Leaves Team Edin a hack waiter for 2 here. Probably a little bit harder shot than he expected to have.
Feels like they've been scrambling to stay in the game, but get themselves back on level terms here.
Yeah, looks like they have a hack waiter for 2. They have about half the rocks, so good shot to keep them in the game.
A bit of a game saver in the fourth on the draw into the 4-foot. Forced Catlin Schneider to make a really good shot for the 2. And looking to get that 2 back on this shot. Now the switch, safely by the guard. No problem at all.
No mistake.
For the multiple world champion. That'll be a pair for Niklas Edin. And in this A qualifier game in Swift Current, we are deadlocked at 4.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back to Swift Current Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. A qualifier game, Niklas Edin and Catlin Schneider. 5 ends in the books. And we are deadlocked at 4. Catlin Schneider with hammer here in the 6th.
Tied with hammer and 6 is a great spot to be in.
This one is just going to feather that center guard. Spin back a little bit. Well, was it a center line kick? Did it move it off the center line? That seems to be the discussion.
Yeah, I guess it did if they're taking the rock off.
Yes, so the no tick zone coming into play on that shot. Still a relatively new rule in curling, but comes into play on that stone. If that stone's on the center line, the free guard zone, if you tick it off the center line, it's the same as a free guard zone violation. The delivered stone comes off and the stone gets replaced.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely great rule for our top level of curling. Do I think it needs to be all the way down at the junior level or in rec leagues? Absolutely not. But our best curlers in the world are just too good at the tick. And they absolutely need to have that rule. So I think it's great for the game.
Edin stacking the guards. You can see them tightrope along that center line.
Rasmus with a sore back really hasn't missed much.
Niklas will say, "Don't bother going to the chiropractor."
Yeah.
Rasmus, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, some great shots. Those two guards could not be more separated. Close. Yeah.
Sterling Middleton blasts the top one.
Yeah, Team Edin is going to go full steel mode in this end.
Seems that way.
They'll be okay with the force. They won't love it. They're going to try and steal here because they know if they steal in the 6th end, their percentage of winning goes from 20 to 30% to like 70 or 80. So like they know how big of an end it is. So.
And Catlin Schneider will know the math as well, won't he, Sam?
Yeah.
So he'll be aware that even though he'd love to score 2 here, the thing that he does really need to protect against is not scoring. So free guard zone rule part of the end is behind us. So it'll be blast away time.
Yeah, and Sterling can throw it high and hard, so it'll be interesting.
There's 1, there's 2 in motion. Gets rid of a couple and importantly spills his own out of the path as well. Very nice shot.
Great shot. It's kind of funny because the elite level, they would probably a little disappointed they didn't touch all 3 of the yellows. They were it was kind of lined up that way, but
we'll give you 2.5 out of 4 for
we'll
that.
give you, yeah, exactly. That's only a 50% shot in there. But no, it was a great shot. And,
it was a
it's
very
just
good shot.
the level of curling they play. They want they're trying to get 100% out of every rock they throw. And now Team Edin's just going to keep throwing the guard up and hope that Team Schneider doesn't make the run back.
See Rasmus Rana backing away as Oscar Eriksson just joins the sweep. Rasmus saving his back. No rest for Christopher Sundgren, though. He navigates that stone perfectly in front of the stone in the forefoot. Catlin Schneider again indicating with his brush. And they will be playing the run on that center guard.
Yeah. Yeah, Team Schneider knows that they're not going to miss a guard. So if they want a chance to score 2 or a chance to not give up a steal, they're going to have to make this run back eventually.
Jason Ginter now trying the double run. Oh, very nicely done.
Well executed.
Picks off the shooter and spills his own guard rock off that center line in the process, exposing the button. Very nicely done.
Now the end will get scarier and scarier for Team Edin because now they have to draw around a red rock, and Jason will have the exact same shot to now sit one after he's done throwing.
And just that little half rock flip off the center line as well exposes the button on the intern side. So even if Oscar sinks this one perfectly, Catlin's still going to have the lid on the intern side if he needs it.
Yeah, it's a great situation for Catlin Schneider and team.
Once again, Erickson will slide in there in the second brush position. This one's sliding full forefoot, going to be front button. Popping out just a fraction on the intern side. Attempting to chase it now. Would that be a mistake?
It is tempting to throw the run back, but you see maybe half a rock, so if you can make this hit and roll under a corner guard, then it will be decision time for Team Edin.
Yep, that would turn it from maybe giving up a chance to score to maybe giving up a 2, and that could be near fatal for Team Edin.
Yeah.
So it's in the hands of Jason Ginter. Sterling Middleton trying to hold the line. Are they by? Well, they're by the front one. But
yeah,
pretty
great
much
sweep.
knows.
Yeah.
That was a great sweep. They still managed to keep a corner hidden behind that center guard in the process. They were looking for that wide roll, but terrific sweep there from Sterling Middleton. Holding the line and leaving that stone in a pretty useful place, I think.
Pretty
hard
tough
for
Niklas
to get cover.
Yeah, pretty tough for Niklas to get cover. They're going to have to, I think they're throwing the back line to hit and roll under the center guard. This is the call. Too scary to roll behind that corner guard. It's just such a short run back.
Well, and if you rolled under the corner, you also bring up the risk that Catlin could just outright ignore it, right? And either follow it down or come around the center. So
exactly.
Not too many great places for Niklas to put this one here. And if he's going to get the roll underneath, he's going to have to really flirt with the center guard in the process. Once again, we see the unusual sight of Oscar Eriksson standing beside Niklas Edin as Niklas gets ready to throw. We're used to seeing Oscar in the house holding the brush, but because of the back injury to Rasmus Rana, Rasmus is holding the target line for Niklas in this game.
It's close.
Now they're sweeping for curl, but I don't think it's going to curl enough. Pretty much knows. Enough to push it through the rings. A great opportunity now for Catlin Schneider. If he can get across nose, that sets up a pair.
Important to make a roll here. If he ends up making the roll under one of the guards, Team Edin is in a little bit of trouble.
What do you think is preferred here, Sam? Going underneath the center, taking it off to the wing and leaving the forefoot open?
Probably draw around the center. I mean, you shrink the scoring area down a little bit. If you make this hit and roll around the center, you'll see Team Edin draw the back forefoot. You'll probably have a draw / tap for 2. You roll around the corner guard, Team Edin could put it top 4. You might give up a steal. So, really important for Team Schneider to score. Team Edin won't even be that upset with a blank if that ends up happening. So, important shot.
Some urgency in the sweeping call from Catlin Schneider. This is going to be all over the center guard. My goodness, that's a bad miss. spills off the rings. So that was a huge opportunity lost here for Catlin Schneider. Not a good throw at all, unfortunately for them.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first zero from Catlin there. That's his first miss of the game. So unfortunate
Terrible
timing.
time for it.
Yeah, unfortunate timing for sure.
I guess looking for a positive and a negative. You're going to have that one miss in the game, probably better on your first shot of the end rather than the last one, but that last shot could become very, very difficult now, depending on where Niklas and company decide to leave this stone. Looks like they're talking about promoting it perhaps into the back button. And
yeah, I don't mind the tap. It's just you'd hate to leave a nose double and just let them have an easy shot. But
right.
Surprised they haven't even talked about the guard.
I was going to say, exactly. Most club girls would be running out to the front of the house and just throwing a guard on it and running to the other end and being pretty happy about it, but not this team.
No, it's probably a good call to play the tap. You could sit top four, back four. Team Schneider, Catlin's going to need to make not an easy double for one. This probably
that
is
the thing, isn't it? It's not only the bump, but it's also the angle between the front stone and the back stone, because you want to force Catlin not only to make the double, but to stick around when he does it to get the force.
Yeah,
you'd ideally like to steal, of course. At this point, I think Catlin Schneider would be very happy to have a chance to score one after that miss.
Yeah, two really big shots in the game. Just going heavy.
Schneider coming out to have a sweep. It's going to be more of a split than tap. Get some separation.
It does look like Team Schneider's going to have to roll in for a shot rock. I don't think a nose is going to be shot. So, actually ended up working out. It worked out for Edin.
Got some separation. Inside roll. It's going to force a one. So it's absolutely a force. No real sane chance for a blank here. At this point, I think Catlin Schneider would be very, very happy to hang a one on the board.
Oh, yeah.
But after that nice split by Niklas, I think you're right, Sam. I don't think nose hit get the done for him. He's going to have to hit on the center line side of the target rock.
Big moment in the game. Might be playing the double and blank. That's a lot of weight.
Well, if it is a double and blank, that'll be pretty heroic. There's the one, spills in for a single point. So after all the smoke clears, it is a force for Niklas Edin, but a sigh of relief from Catlin Schneider. They get themselves back out in front, scoring in the even end. We hit for the seventh. Catlin Schneider leads it by a score of 5-4 over Niklas Edin here in Swift Current.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to Swift Current. Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Shootout, and it's an 8 qualifier game. You're just joining us, Niklas Edin versus Catlin Schneider. Catlin Schneider scoring 1 on the 6th to hold a narrow 5-4 lead. And this 7th end, well, every end is pivotal in a game this close, but Niklas Edin in the unusual situation of chasing a game. On his round up here, along with Sam Steep. Sam, be very, very interesting to see when Niklas approaches this 7th end.
Yeah, well, I have a little bit of insider information because I was in the exact same situation against Niklas earlier this year. We were up 1 without in 7, and we thought they were just going to play it easy and probably blank the 7th end, but they played it hard, and they ended up scoring 4 against us. So
wow.
For Catlin, he's going to want to be careful with what he does because you expect the other team to want to blank sometimes, but not Team Edin. They're going to go after you in the 7th end.
I think one of the things that analytics in our sport has taught us is the value of being ahead on the scoreboard. And so instead of the customary old school thinking of, I'm kind of happy to come home tied with the hammer, now the calculus has changed quite a lot. And now you're starting to think, I don't mind being 1 up without coming home because mathematically often that's better. And so in this situation, exactly as you said, Sam, wouldn't be surprised at all to see Niklas going really hard to try and score multiples. But Catlin Schneider and co have got something to say about that, and that was a terrific freeze.
That was a great freeze. That's something you don't expect. You don't expect the team defending to draw around a corner guard that early in an end, and they made a perfect freeze. So more and more likely that this end is not going to be a blank. Like they're drawing? They're freezing?
Over to you, Catlin Schneider. It does look like they're drawing. And there we can see what they've got in mind. That's a pretty brave call. Freeze the back 8 foot. Great shot if you make it, but
for sure.
if you don't, big trouble.
Interesting they're deciding not to throw a guard. They could hit the back one.
True.
The freeze, if made, is a great call. But they also just leave a double, maybe even a triple, if they don't make it perfectly. So.
Exactly. That's my worry.
Yeah.
I said freeze is perfect, but you got to make it perfect. If you don't make it perfect, Niklas comes in there, throws a heater, pinball stuff, and all of a sudden he might have a chance for 2 or 3.
This is what Edin does best, is they make you think you have to make such hard shots to keep them trapped, but they make you overthink things sometimes.
Middleton and Horvath on the brushing. Ginter, rather. Horvath holding the brush. Pretty good. Pretty good. Red line 1, 2, and Well, maybe 3. It's really close, and that's going to be really important. Who's third shot?
Well, this is the important thing, is that the Reds almost line up to be a triple. If you throw it hard enough, that red should ricochet off the yellow and come pretty close to that other red.
You can see the path of the brush from Niklas indicating exactly that. Saying, I hammer red right there. Red 3/4, the stone behind it. Kicks the yellow one out the side door, but then the red one's going to careen leftward towards the other red in the back 8 foot. And if Niklas somehow pulls off that kind of miraculous shot, there's a chance that he could be lying 3 after this shot, which would be incredible.
If this is made the way he wants to, he should be lying at least 2.
Pivotal moment in this game, Niklas Edin. It's close. Stone's in motion, goes by the stone in the back 8 foot. Does leave himself lying first and third. Crosshouse double available for Catlin Schneider, but that's a long one.
You'd hate to leave a triple for 3. That's the thing. I mean, giving up 2's okay. You don't love it. You cannot give up 3 here.
What's the best play to avoid giving up 3 in your view, Sam?
Probably the nose. I think if he knows it, Niklas would have to play a super thin triple for 3. If you roll to the edge of button, you're just giving up like a just off nose for 3. So I think nose is really good.
I'm sure Catlin really does not want to give up 2, but he knows in his heart that if he takes on any risk to go cross house, could be giving up the ball game. Well, we speculated about how hard Niklas Edin would go in the 7th end, and just as you relayed to us, Sam, with your own personal experience playing against this team, Team Edin in the 7th end trailing is a dangerous beast.
If you leave them a shot for multiple, he will play it. So important to try to keep this on the nose.
Catlin Schneider. In damage limitation mode here. Looking for the nose, and he's got it. Very nice shot. So is there any shot for 2 here?
It's tough. You could play the slash. I just don't know if there's enough room to slash the reds in there. That would only be for 2. Other than that,
definitely negated the 3.
Really thin for 3. That's a shot against the game.
That's an even thinner version of the Al Hackner double. You'd have to paper that one to make it.
A lot of teams wouldn't even be looking. They just hit for 1 and try to steal the 8th. But Dean knows the stats. He knows that tied without an 8, you don't win very often. You have like in the men's side competitive level, it's like a 5 to 10% chance of winning, something like that. It's super low. So that's why they're looking at making some kind of thin triple for 3 or 2.
Well, game on the line here for Niklas Edin in his eyes. In his view, Sam just gave us a great explanation. One's not going to do it for him. Even though that would tie the game up, then you'd think you'd have a reasonable chance to somehow steal 8. But statistics and analytics and experience tell Niklas and company that you're going to have to gamble here because you're going to need a multiple. And if you're going to do that, it's going to mean a very, very difficult shot. Full credit to Catlin Schneider. He delivered that nose hit and left it in a very good place for him, very bad place for Niklas Edin. So full credit to Catlin on that shot.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of teams would have just taken their 1 by now. Yeah, you could paper that yellow, and it almost automatically redirects to the other red, but...
Yeah, Niklas is still thinking, how do I get 3? Only Niklas would be doing that.
Yeah. The interesting thing is Oscar, being the normal vice, has already backed off and let Rasmus and Niklas talk about this. Like, he almost knows he's the front end player right now.
Yeah, just slide down to the other end and clean the path, Oscar.
Yeah.
Your contribution is made.
Do your job.
But that does put an awful lot of pressure on Rasmus Rana. He's a really strong player and good line reader, but he is not Oscar Eriksson line reader. And to read line on this shot, you're going to have to be absolutely perfect to make. So almost as much pressure on Rasmus Rana holding the stick as it is for Niklas throwing it. Line read has to be outstanding.
This looks like they decided to play the wick. They decided to play the triple, I think.
Well, fasten your seatbelts, folks. Game on the line right here for Niklas Edin. My, got stones in motion, but it is a huge steal for Catlin Schneider. Catlin Schneider, huge steal in the 7th end. Niklas Edin going for broke with his last stone, didn't come off. Enormous steal for Catlin Schneider. Qualifying is in sight for them, but they got to finish it off. We head for the 8th end. Schneider leads it by 2 here in Swift Current.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Welcome back to Swift Current. Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Shootout. A qualifying game, and it has been a dandy between Niklas Edin, the multiple world champion, Olympic champion, versus Catlin Schneider of Victoria, British Columbia, and Catlin Schneider, after a steal of 1 in the 7th end, enjoys a 2-point lead as we play the 8th. Niklas Edin will have to go deep into his bag of tricks, but as we saw in the 7th end, Hans Frauenlob along with Sam Steep. Sam, if anybody can manufacture something, it'll be Team Edin.
They're probably the last team on earth you want to count out. They know what it takes to win. They've been in every single scenario in curling, I imagine. And they know how to win. They know how to win. So, interesting strategy for Catlin, for Team Schneider, drawing and cutting off the corner guards.
I think that's kind of an underrated play for me, choking off the corner by going half around.
Yeah.
Sundgren responding by throwing a corner on the other side. So 2 corners up for Niklas. But yeah, sometimes if you get half around the corner, you can kind of not completely neutralize it, but you're forcing your opponent to kind of deal with it in 2 shots rather than 1.
Yeah, I do like the call. I just think it's very precise. It's very precise. If you're ever heavy, you give something to freeze on. You ever light, you just have another corner guard. Like, it's the top level. That's the only time you see the strategies at this level of curling. So, very important shot for Sterling Middleton.
Having negated 1 corner guard, trying to do the same thing on the other side. And he does tuck 1 around, choking off that other corner guard as well. So narrowing that scoring area.
Yeah, we're about to find out how this strategy works and if it works.
That's right.
Both
Take a snapshot right now.
Perfectly, yeah.
See if it stays this way for another 10 shots or so. You're exactly right, Sam.
Yeah, the only reason I don't like it is that Team Edin can make a couple of taps and all of a sudden they have rocks to freeze on, or a hit and roll under, and they're getting buried behind 2 corner guards. It's like, in my opinion, it's a difficult strategy to pull off.
Well, 5 rocks have been delivered, so from here on out, Catlin can switch to bombs away if he wants to. But right now, stones are in pretty good positions for Team Schneider. But as Sam pointed out, everything that's in front of the tee line is a potential guard for Niklas Edin and maybe something to use. So there is some risk as well, choking off those corners.
Team Edin decided to play the freeze tap on the right side of your screen.
Rasmus Orana worked on a guard in the previous end, looking to atone for it on this shot.
Rock.
And this one again over curling. That's all over the corner guard. And actually creates an overlap as well, so that makes it, in one respect, a little less runnable, but on another respect, kind of angled towards the button area. So you never know how those stones might come into play later in the end.
Catlin's taking a good look on how, if they hit this, where's that yellow going to go?
Exactly.
I think it's going to touch a red. So he can't.
I think it is too.
Well, he has to try and make the crosshouse double on the corners. For a miss, that was a good outcome for Edin. Not being able to blast those corner guards.
Those 2 yellow stones angled on the right-hand side of our picture, representing a bit of danger for Catlin Schneider, but ignoring them, can't really go at them directly, so he's going to try and come at them via the side door. Sterling Middleton looking to hit half of this and spring across and maybe change the angles on the other corners in the process. There's the hit, but he goes underneath, kills his own, and springs it off, but still in play. So now overlapped corner guards, and opportunity for Niklas Edin. If you can get one behind there, look out.
Looking like a good chance to score two. Probably why they're deciding to not play around the corner guards right now. You want to leave those there as long as possible.
So big upweight attempt by Sterling Middleton, just got a little less contact on the guard than he was hoping for, went underneath and picked off his own, left the overlapped corner guards there for Niklas to use, but now are they thinking about using it? You know they're going to go around those overlapped guards at some point. Is that point now?
The way those guards are set up, you could make a tick and bring two yellows into play. If you hit half a rock on that top yellow and roll your shooter in,
that's true.
Technically a splittable rock. So
that's true, and you could leave the corner guard there as well.
Yeah.
So you could potentially split two on and still leave a corner guard.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why I like them not playing on it right now. Is they probably wanted to leave that there as long as possible. That's why I like the hit and roll to start. You don't even necessarily need to hit. You could just draw to the back 8 foot around the red one as well. But go around those corner guards. Yeah, if you go around those corner guards, you're just going to blast them. So.
That's true. Catlin Schneider had a look at those overlapped ones on the last one, decided, no, that's a bit too sketchy to try and clear them, so went the other side, but you won't have that luxury for too much longer if Niklas decides to leave them there. Have to do something to negate those yellow stones. Catlin just needs to remind himself, have a look up at the scoreboard. We are 2 points clear here. So by no means is it panic stations.
Interesting decision to decide to play the split now. Don't mind it.
Gets no action on the stone in the wing. Rolls his shooter deep, and will it stay in the circles? Really important. Doesn't spin back. It's off the rings. Wow. That could be a game ender, really, for Niklas Edin.
That was an inch away, or half an inch away from perfection, and turns out to be the worst outcome that he could have had. And that's just kind of the game that Edin has had this afternoon.
I do wonder, Catlin's looking at double clear. Not sure that I wouldn't be looking at the top guard and just trying to three-quarter it and roll off and letting Niklas try some kind of a pinball off the red-yellow. You never want to make something for your opponent.
A little scary to hit it thin. You could also hit it thin and then all of a sudden you stagger the reds on the other side of the sheet and they have somewhere else to draw around. So it's you're not wrong. I wouldn't mind just three-quarters and
three-quarter that one, bang it and get rid of it.
Arguably speaking, that yellow could be split in if you hit it super thin and hit off the red and into the rings.
Yeah. Still got two reds to deal with, though, before that becomes a factor.
Exactly, yeah. That's probably why he was looking at it so long, is he doesn't like that it's there, but a little too risky to play for it.
So big stone here for Jason Ginter. Can really stick the dagger in if he can three-quarter this one. They don't sound very concerned about it, so a good-looking shot here from Jason. That's a beauty. Perfect.
Yep, they kept it simple.
Well, simple is often good, especially when you're two up. Now you make Niklas go deeper into the bag of desperation to try and manufacture something, but nothing to hide behind now for Niklas.
Well, we're about to find out if those 8-foot rocks bite them in the butt.
Yeah. Looking for cover in the back of the 8-foot. This one's going to slide deep. Is it going to slide into third shot position? Is it going to stay in the rings? Is it going to stay in the rings? Just biting the back 12.
Game saving thing in the 12-foot there.
I like Catlin's first thought there. As crazy as it sounds, why not just follow that one down?
That's the thing about throwing those 8-foot rocks that staggered off the corner guards is now it's a guard, and now he has to play a freeze to a back 12-foot rock that I mean, I've never practiced that shot in practice, so it's a shot you don't really practice. For Jason here, so it's
a really bad draw. Just throw a heavy draw.
it's interesting. Maybe I'm just being a negative Nelly, but I think that.
Well, looking at it positively, I guess, if he does redirect something on the way by and clip and changes the angles, maybe that's not terrible either. Well, he's through the hole. It's a good-looking shot. Got some contact, though, and he's going to spill. That's not good. Not good at all. So the faintest pulse.
Do the thing again.
Do
Probably
that
the same
thing,
shot.
exactly.
No, I don't always like to be right, but
yeah.
It's such a hard strategy to pull off.
Yeah. Still a long way to 2 here, though, for Niklas. Trying to double off the reds, you're probably going to spill. Push the red back. Niklas wants to get something behind, or at least into the area of that, well, we'll call it a corner guard, the guard just short of the rings. Little freeze tap on shot rock here, Sam. Is that the call?
It looks like it. I don't mind that at all.
I agree. I think it's
probably better than putting your rocks together and giving Catlin a run back double for the win, basically.
Exactly.
I want to make sure the angles are set up good here, though. Needs to sit.
Well, he's going to bounce, but he's not going to freeze. There will be an opening here for Catlin to squeeze it out.
Yeah, looks like both yellows could be gone here. Just couldn't get that to curl.
Yeah. There is some risk of yellow-red clipping the one in the back, and that's true, but I just wonder if they're not just going to try and pick this one clean. Do they bother saving the shooter?
No, you're whipping this and just trying to get rid of both yellows. At least getting rid of one, and you really don't want to leave your red there, probably. Right on the beak.
If you move the one in the back 4-foot, in the back button, rather, if you don't clip that yellow at the back, do you open the door here for Niklas?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, you want to keep your shooter right on the nose would be perfect. I can't really freeze on it.
Catlin Schneider, a little speed wobble coming out of the hack. He fairly rocketed out of the hack. And then it does go by that one in the back. That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about. And that one rolls out and does not stick around for a second shot. So now it's the 2 is very much on now for Niklas. Yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about. You get them flying towards that one in the back, and if you blow by it, uh-oh.
Yeah, and you really wanted to try and keep your shooter at second shot, and they couldn't do that. That was the
Well,
big
that was
point.
the thing.
That was the
Exactly.
big
If
point,
that one
yeah.
rolls half a rock less, maybe they're not feeling so bad about the situation. But now, Niklas has got kind of 2 or 3 options, really.
Yeah, you can freeze to that back red one. You can draw around the guard. You can draw around the other red one.
Yep.
Catlin's, all of a sudden, he's facing a shot against the loss. So
Exactly.
important call. I do like this. Catlin's probably going to play a draw somewhere. And Niklas might have a double for the win.
Well. We said at the beginning of the 8th end, any team in the world can manufacture something out of thin air. It's Team Niklas Edin, and here they are on the brink of doing exactly that. Crucial shot here for Niklas, though. It's a must-make. Everything's a must-make in this situation. Strangely, he actually does have a little bit of tolerance here. Doesn't have to be super precise with the weight, but he does have to have great line.
There's a few feet of tolerance here, but he has been struggling a little bit with his draw weight. Other than the draw in 6, save the game, or in 4, save the game. That was about the last draw I think he made.
Rock is on its way for Niklas Edin. Sweeper's keeping an eye on it, getting better now. And that's pretty good.
Great shot.
No realistic angle there for Catlin Schneider to make a play at it and do something with it.
No, his only shot is to, if I had the pen in TSN right now, his only shot is to make the perfect corner freeze, or you put it exactly even with your other red rock in the top 8 foot, so there's 0 doubles available.
So we did see Catlin Schneider pat the brush in front of that stone of Niklas's. So that is definitely going to be the play. If he can half corner freeze this stone of Niklas's, then he could lock him out, and that could be the game. But if he doesn't, well, who knows what's going to happen on the final stone of Niklas Edin. But first things first, Catlin Schneider. They've had control of this game for the entire game, but that control could slip away if this one's not perfect.
Sweeper's thought heavy out of his hand.
They do not want to bounce, but it will bounce. Just ticks it. Sits beside.
That might.
It's kind of a side freeze, really.
Yeah, that might secure a shot just for 2. I don't think there's a shot for the win anymore.
And it is now a pretty tough shot for the 2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about a half a rock double with a lot of weight, because you got to push it off the yellow and then you got to push it out.
I mean, the way they've been staggered, I mean, the crosshouse on the reds, you know, that side jam, it's almost backing. Yeah. So I can't see how Niklas squeezes out the stone that Catlin just threw by coming crosshouse on the double.
Yeah, they were looking at that yellow guard in the corner to see if they could spin off the top red into the other red and crosshouse into 3, but
yeah, and as bizarre as that sounds, the way that I'm looking at these angles, that might be the only shot that Niklas has.
The win.
For the win. Well, even for the tie.
The tie's tough. He has to throw a lot of weight, throw it at the top of the red one, and hope your shooter stays. there for 2, and that's the only shot, unfortunately.
I just don't, well, I just can't see how that left-hand rock doesn't jam against the yellow and just plant.
Yeah, they need to hit it at the top right corner of the rock, and then hope their shot rock doesn't spin out of the rings. That's where they need to hit it. They need to hit it at like 130.
Okay.
That's the only chance, I think. Even then, you might be right, but...
Well, we're about to find out.
This is going to be a high, hard one, for sure.
It will be moving. That one we know for sure. Last rock on its way for Niklas Edin, trying to come up with a miracle shot, and he's got a spinner, of course, just to make it more interesting. Trying to somehow manufacture 2 out of nothing. There's the shot. Crosshouse gets the spin, got the spin for the unlock, but did not quite pull off the miracle this time. Catlin Schneider, what a terrific win for this young team. They qualify on the A side here in Swift Current. Wow, what a terrific game for Team Schneider, knocking off the multiple world champion, Olympic champion. Terrific game and super entertaining, Sam.
Yeah, it really came down to Team Schneider made more big shots in every end than Team Edin did, and what it comes down to. So 2 teams that you probably didn't expect to win the A, and Team Muybrook and Team Schneider qualify for playoffs first.
Well, glad you've joined us, and there's more great curling to come from Swift Current. Thank you very much for joining us. More curling to come here. But Team Schneider qualify into the quarterfinals in Swift Current.
We feed the world with Nutrien, and a large portion of what our job is to get fertilizer out with the carriers so they can get directed to the farms or to the different retail locations. We know that if we don't have the answer to something, we're not afraid to reach out because we have support from everyone. We've got a really good team behind us.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.